Welcome to the Office Latte podcast, where we go beyond the boardroom to explore new conversations on life and career. I'm Erin Kennedy, CEO of Professional Resume Services and wife, mother, sister, daughter, aunt, and friend. Now, let's dive in. Welcome back to Office Latte podcast. It is a sunny and humid as heck Tuesday morning here, and I'm with Summer Varner.
Hello. How are you doing, Erin?
I am fabulous. It is just, humid, but nice. I'm not complaining. It's supposed to be beautiful today and tomorrow, so I'll take it. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I am doing well. I'm drinking a black coffee today, despite all the humidity. But I am surviving and thriving, as they say.
Awesome. You know what? I just realized I drank my whole coffee. My husband he stopped at Tim Hortons and he dropped me off one, and I just chugged it this morning. So now I'm just on water. So anyways, so I was going to tell you about my camera issues. So I was looking for a new one
Yeah.
that like goes down so that I'm looking. So if I want to look at my guest, I'm not doing this,
Yeah.
I'm like looking at the camera. So I bought this one. I won't say what it is. I tried it out with you, but everything had kind of a yellowy glow to it. And
Yeah, you
when I
looked,
had on my
it was like a preset filter almost. It was gorgeous, but like I think it was like
everything was yellow. But here's
yeah.
the worst part. I was talking to a new partner and I had on this bright red, like beautiful shirt. I get on the Zoom with him and I'm like, okay, it was like burnt orange, like just the worst possible color. So I was like, okay, I'm sending this back. This is terrible. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited about our guest today, Tanya Smith,
Yeah.
who, specializes in video and actually I'll read her bio because it's very interesting. She's the founder of Get Noticed with and video host of Stream Like a Boss TV, which I love that name.
Me too.
Been in marketing, digital marketing for 20 years. She's a veteran coach and a content strategist, and she's known for her soothing voice, which she does. Wait till you hear her. She has a great voice.
Can't wait.
And her use of apps and getting things done. And she helps service businesses master this 4-step boss formula to create consistent lead generating live streams that transform their audience from crickets to cash paying clients. Yahoo. But I can't wait to dig in with her and ask her, a lot of things that clients will ask me about doing video. Do I have to, all of those things. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate to sound generational, but that's why we're doing this. Yeah. But and I have you on here, my Gen Z correspondent, but I think it is harder. It's not harder, but it's just more, we're not used to it. Gen X, Gen whatever, baby boomers, we're just not used to it. So I'm excited to talk to her and get her take on it and how to make other people feel comfortable, in video interviews and, doing podcasts and different things to build a brand.
Yeah, really just putting yourself out there too. That entire aspect of it all is really hard for a lot of people, both professionals, creators, or business owners. So I'm excited for this conversation.
I know, me too. All right, well, let's get to it. Hello, Tanya. I'm so excited to have you on today. How are you doing? I hear you have a new puppy.
I do. We have a new puppy. We've been trying to come up with names, and I think someone on Facebook named him for us.
Ooh, well, first of all, what kind of puppy? I love dogs. So
Shih Poo.
a Shih Poo. So what is that?
So it's a Shih Tzu poodle mix.
Ah,
Yeah,
I love poodle mixes.
I know, right? Because they don't shed.
And for my husband who's allergic, he can't say anything.
Yes. For 30
Yeah.
years, we've had dogs in the house. And recently, I lost my last dog in the house, maybe about a month or two ago. And we had him for 16 years, a Chihuahua. Yes.
Aww.
So this is I said, no one can ever replace Charlie, but I ended up getting suckered by my eldest daughter. So here we are.
I know. Well, what did you decide? What did your Facebook commenter decide you should name your pup?
She gave us the name Coda,
Cute.
Koda. Yeah.
I like it. Does it seem to fit?
It fits. We were
Aw.
looking at Benji. We were looking at Appa, which is a character off of The Last Airbender. My kids are into
Oh,
anime.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he's really fluffy and lots of
Aw.
hair. But yeah, we landed with Coda.
All right. So how big will Coda get?
So he's 8 pounds right now, but he's only 3 months old. So I'm thinking from what the vet said, maybe close to 20, but that's the max.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Our last dog, um, she passed about a year and a half ago. Her name is Maddie. Because when we found her, she was full of her whole coat was just matted up, and my kids named her. But anyways, she was a golden doodle.
Oh,
And
yeah.
but she got big, like 90 pounds. She was like a deer. I mean, it was just crazy running around our house. But and I was thinking, oh, if we got another, and my husband's like, we're good. We don't need any more dogs, we don't need to, we've got quite a few cats. But he's like, we're good on the dogs. And then I was like, I keep seeing dogs on Facebook. I keep seeing dogs everywhere. It's like dogs are just everywhere. So now
Yes.
I'm thinking, okay, it's time. It's been long enough. So
Convince him.
yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to. And my kids are like, oh, come on, we need a new dog. But anyways, I'm glad to have you here today. And this is a topic that I have heard about from clients, getting on video, being comfortable in front of video, all of these things for years. And I mean, especially during the pandemic when suddenly, everything is Zooms. I mean, I know I struggled with it too because I was so used to kind of hiding behind my computer, just doing my
Yeah.
thing. And suddenly, it took, a lot of talking to myself
Mm-hmm.
to get comfortable with this. So first, tell me tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into this.
So I actually started coaching other businesses a little under 20 years ago. Initially, I was doing career coaching because I had an HR background. I have an HR background. And so I was working with um, people who wanted to get promoted in their jobs.
Yeah.
And as a result of all the audio work I was doing at the time, I was getting a lot of requests from other entrepreneurs, other coaches who were saying, hey, can you help me to set up my tech? And how are you doing this workflow? And you've got a full-time job and you've got kids. And they were asking me all these questions. And so eventually I morphed that business into a business coaching venture, and I was working with people on their digital marketing strategy. So social media, content, you name it. But it was audio focused because I'm the person who said, I will never put my face on video. I will never be on camera.
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
But a few years ago, I realized that I needed to make a dramatic change because I was seeing a huge dip in my social media feed. So the organic reach was just nothing,
Yeah.
um, which I hear a lot of people talk about that. I had, I was losing interest, if you will. I was trying to make a decision. Do I want to continue to do this or do I need to let it go? So I made a decision to do something super dramatic. And the dramatic thing that I did was to get on camera, but not only to get on camera, because I always do things big for some reason. I said, I'm going to do a live stream every week for a year.
Wow. Okay. Did you do it? Where did you do your live stream?
I did it from home. I did a
No, I
live
mean on
stream.
like LinkedIn or
Facebook was where I
Face.
started.
Okay.
LinkedIn was really difficult to get into at that time because you really had to have, you had to meet their criteria, whatever their criteria was at the time, and you had to be approved. Facebook had the
Oh yeah.
lowest barrier for you to be able to actually go live, and it was super easy to do that. YouTube, you had to meet certain criteria. So Facebook was where I started, but the more consistent I was putting myself out there on camera, it started going from crickets, like nobody, to building a following of people who were just returning every week. And they were like, when are you going to build a community? And when are you doing this? And when are you doing that? And it really just gave me a lot of growth professionally, but also on a personal level. So I started actually moving into Get Noticed with Video became my new company name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I opened up a weekly live stream called Stream Like a Boss TV and started teaching other entrepreneurs how to do what I did to be able to actually gain clients, build community, and get more visibility.
I love that. I was going to say, and I forgot to mention that I found you through a video, through Career Thought Leaders. I mean, through a webinar. And it was so, well, so impactful to me that I actually, started contemplating maybe doing a podcast,
What?
which really had never, I had thought about it before and I was like, I don't know. But then I watched you and I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that was actually how I found you, but I love that. And so tell me about Stream Like a Boss.
Um, so Stream Like a Boss became a thing because I was looking for a way to name my show since I was regular, right? I was doing these regular episodes. I didn't really have a name for it, but I was looking for a way to name the show that would be enticing, that would get people to watch and understand that if you want to become more professional on camera, here's some of the things that you can do. Here's some tips and tricks and trends that you might want to watch. And that has become a whole business brand itself because I've been able to leverage creating programs, workshops, and downloadables, planners. And now with AI married to a lot of the work I was already doing, I've even been able to create bots that specialize in live stream content creation. So, yeah, that has
So what is
been
that? Explain that. You've created bots. Okay,
okay.
explain.
So, I haven't even launched this yet. So, this
Ooh,
is like hot off the press.
so exciting.
So,
I
what
won't
I'm
tell
doing,
anybody. We won't tell anybody
shh,
until you're
everybody
ready.
listening. Okay. So I found this tool called Pickaxe. And mind you, there's 1,000 different tools that are doing 1,000 different things right now.
Mhm.
But this particular tool allowed me to create a suite of different generative AI roles. So each of what they call agents, each of the agents has a specific task that they are really great at. And so the role of agent one is that they are a copywriter. The role of agent two is that they love to create ideas for engagement for your live stream. The role of agent B or C or three is to create thumbnails for your live stream. So I've just given them, I've fed them with and
Very
trained them with
cool.
specific tasks that they can do related to your live streaming so that you can really just kind of sit back, press a couple of buttons, and let it work.
Let it do the work for you or assist you. Okay.
Assist.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Yeah. The
Yeah.
assist is the thing because it still needs to be your
Right.
brain. You still
Yeah.
need to be putting your experience, your knowledge, and what you do, your niche into it. But these are enhancements.
Wow. Very cool. Well, you'll have to let us know when you plan on launching it. Because I mean, really, it seems like um, just like a no-brainer. I mean, you would really need that in order to help you do this seamlessly. Okay, I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
So for someone starting with video, well, first of all, okay, let me back up a little bit. I was talking to Summer about this before we started talking with you. And I would love to know your recommendations on basics like a camera, a speaker, I'm sorry, a microphone,
Yeah.
speakers. I recently bought a camera that because I feel like my camera's up here because I've
Okay.
got monitors and
Hmm.
but I feel like I'm looking down here at you, but so I make myself look up, look down all the time. It's just nonstop. So I found something that there's like a camera, like a camera that comes down so that I can look at you and at the camera. The problem with that was that it made everything very kind of yellowy. And
Mm.
I was telling Summer, I was talking with someone last week and I had on this red shirt and it was really pretty, like a great shade of red, but in the camera it was like burnt orange.
Oh.
So I was
Mm.
like, no, 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 I don't want that. But is there a specific type of camera or microphone that you would recommend to people starting out? Like, I don't even know where to begin. That's kind of how I was. It took me a while, but what
Yeah.
would you recommend?
You know, I would have told you a couple of years ago to just stick with something super basic, but
Mhm.
now I think we just have so much at our disposal that's more affordable. Um, Now I use a pretty high dollar DSLR cam, but I upgraded. I mean, I've got like a whole graveyard full of cameras
Yeah, I
and
bet.
microphones, right? So
Yeah.
today, in this moment, if you know that you're going to be committed to continuing to do video, my suggestion is still kind of a starter or somewhere in between, because a starter camera really is your phone, right? Your iPhone or your Android phone, that's a
Right.
starter.
Okay.
Usually built-in webcams are not going to be the thing. They're just not.
Built into your computer.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
using a PC, if you're using a Mac,
Yeah.
either one, I mean, they're okay, but they're not great if you're truly trying to be the pro on camera and have
And
high
have it look really
quality.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the Tiny 2, it's called an Obsbot Tiny 2, is a pretty affordable cam, and it can do 4K quality, but
Oh.
most of what you're going to need if you're doing live streams would be maybe 1080p right now.
Mhm.
A lot of the channels, including LinkedIn, Facebook, so the social platforms will limit you anyway to 720, but that thing will give you a really high powered look, but not for the price that you would have to pay for like a DSLR, such as a Sony or a Canon.
Do
I
you
use a,
have price ranges for people listening
you
or
know what?
watching? Like, say this one might start at,
I get a little hesitant about that simply because the prices do change over time. But here's a tip for you, and I'm going
yeah.
to pull up what they currently are. A tip for you would be to look for holidays like Memorial Day or
Oh,
Labor Day. Labor Day is coming up. So, well, depending on when you're listening or
I'll have big
watching this,
sales. Yeah.
big sales during the holidays. That's what I would pay attention
Oh,
to in the
okay.
fall.
Okay. Good to
Um,
know.
Always, yeah, just about always.
Hmm.
If you were
And I love the
looking,
Prime Day sales. I mean, Amazon Prime.
yes.
That I don't know if they have them there, but I have found some things during Amazon Prime.
Every now and then you can get a pretty decent deal. The pricing for a Tiny 2 right now is around, it's looks like they have a light,
Hmm.
LITE.
Hmm.
I haven't used that one, but that's about 180
Hmm.
currently. The one that I actually have is the Tiny 2 webcam 4K, and that's 299. So
Hmm.
that's 300.
And that's not that bad consider it's something that you use every day. And I
Right.
mean, I would just think it's an investment, you know.
Yep.
It's a great tool and
Yep.
especially for job seekers,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah. If you know you're going to
getting,
be
yeah,
using it.
interviewed and yeah. Hmm.
Hmm. If you were just trying to get something to do the in between, you're still making a decision, a Logitech webcam can be just as fine. I have a Logitech, I've got like 5 cameras. You can't see them all right now, but a Logitech webcam that I've had for years. And it's still my old standby. It's a C920, I think. So let me look and see what they have those for. That's less than $100 if I
Hmm.
remember right.
And it's good
So
quality.
it's decent quality. It'll get you to 1080p. Yeah, it's
Okay.
$87.
Oh, perfect.
So for
And
those
what
who
about
need that,
speakers? What about using your computer's speakers versus buying something?
I don't necessarily, I don't really do speakers. I would do
I'm
head.
sorry, microphones. I keep saying
Yeah.
speakers. I'm sorry,
Okay,
microphones.
microphone.
Microphones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to
Sorry.
say I use an earbud instead of, your computer speaker. I use
Oh,
this.
okay.
The reason why headphones are great, by the way, for especially if you're going to be interviewing people, is because it helps with echo cancellation.
Okay.
So it gives you a really clean sound. But as far as microphones, I'm a big fan of mics, and sound is so important because if you're doing a great video but nobody can hear you, they're just going to turn away. So audio
Right.
is more important than the camera. Um, a lot of people still use a Blue Yeti because it's
That's what this
simple.
is. Yeah, that's what
Mm-hmm.
this is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I noticed you have one. And one of
Yeah.
mine, my early microphones was a Blue Yeti as well.
Hmm.
I've had a Rode pod mic. I've had 1,000 of those, but I will tell you the favorite is the one that I have right now, which is a Shure brand, Shure. And the Shure microphone is, let me find out what that is right now. Now I have a whole store that has recommended gear. So that's what I'm looking at is in my store on Amazon. It's streamlikeaboss.shop. In
Oh,
that
okay.
store, yeah, it's fun. I've done some videos, especially during Prime Day and other events. The Shure MV7 is the one that I use right now. There's a
Okay.
big boy, which is really a lot more expensive, but I never needed that. I just needed something to sound good. I needed it to work well and be consistent. And this one is about 279. The Rode Pod mic is about 199. Those are my two that I typically refer people to. If I were going to use a Blue Yeti, I
Yeah.
would definitely wait for a sale, like a Memorial
Okay.
Day, Labor Day, those type.
Okay.
They almost always have blue sales, not necessarily so on some of the other brands.
Okay.
So you just have to catch them when they happen to want to do a sale, but it's not going to usually be during a holiday.
Okay. Um, so I was also going to say, like, what do you recommend a certain app to use to, again, I know you were talking about there are certain things that you use. So what would you recommend?
And this is for streaming or just video content recording?
Well,
What would you?
I'm thinking for people doing maybe doing Zooms or interviews or want to put together a brief bio of themselves that they can send to a company or something like that.
Yeah.
Just I don't know if there's something simple that they can do, but yeah.
Yeah, I think most people have Zoom.
Okay.
So I'm going to start
That's the
there and
easiest. Okay.
say if you have Zoom, you can literally use that for all kinds of things. You can use it, of course, to record yourself. You can use it to do interviews like we're doing now. I think that's pretty sufficient for most people. If you're looking to do more, if you want to actually multi-stream, like you're actually doing live streams
Yeah.
to YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., I would say you want to look at something else like StreamYard, Restream. What I use is called Ecamm Live, which is a bit more complex and advanced, but it's
Okay.
doable. It's doable. And there is training available and all of that, right? But if you're going in order of ease, I'd say start with Zoom. I
Zoom. Okay.
also think that Riverside FM is becoming more and more competitive to kind of fit in that middle space.
Okay. It's
Like a
Riverside FM, you said? Okay.
Riverside FM is amazing. In
Okay.
fact, I decided not that long ago, just in the spirit of transparency, to become an ambassador for them, even though I don't use it consistently, especially for live streaming, because I'm an Ecamm user.
Okay.
But the reason why Riverside is becoming a real competitor is because it's great for just recording. It gives you high quality sound. They use AI to help you to improve for audio enhancements. Um, it can produce show notes for you. It can easily help you if you're using your video to turn it into a podcast, whether it's
Oh,
audio or a video podcast. Yeah.
okay.
Lots of really cool features. They've added a live stream studio. So you literally could do just about anything with Riverside FM.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great for guests, for scheduling
Yeah.
your guests. It's kind of an all-in-one, and it was a little bit of a surprise to me a couple of months ago when they reached out and said, "Hey, we want you to test some of this stuff." And I went, "Wow, I didn't know you did all of these things."
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Love that. Okay. So what about here's something too that I've heard I've talked with clients about who are nervous about their background. And so they use the blurred background, but then I've heard some you know, recruiters or HR people, want to see your background and what do you recommend? I mean, I love yours. I always talk about yours and do you recommend a blurred background or and I always say just clean up your area, if you know you're going to be on video, make sure that if you're in
Yeah.
your bedroom doing it, I can't tell you how many times, and I'm sure you have too, I've seen a video and somebody's sitting on their bed and it's unmade and
Yep.
clothes everywhere and it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
clean that up.
Didn't finish the laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah.
you on that.
Hmm.
I think that to keep things simple, especially for career professionals, I think that the most important thing is that you have a clean space without distractions. You don't want anything taking away from your voice and from the conversation that you want to have with the camera or with the person who you're talking to. You don't have to have super fancy. The thing about blurred backgrounds is that it can create this, it's kind of like psychological. It can create this
That's
impression that you're,
hiding something.
hiding something.
Yep, that's what I've heard too. Yeah.
So I don't necessarily recommend blur. Now, if you
Yeah.
want to use green screen, you got to be careful with that too, because green screens, most people don't use them correctly. You need to have appropriate lighting. Like it needs to be solid across the whole, like the light should be diffused across the entire space that's behind you in order for it to look like you're in the scene.
And that you're not
Otherwise,
moving in digital and
yeah.
I was going to say, so those backgrounds, because, I played with them last year, and there are so many different cool ones, but it did look, I mean, I had to be perfectly still in order to not have it look
Yes.
like I wasn't in that space.
Yeah, because you need a true green screen, and a lot of people don't do that. They'll just go ahead and use the green screen feature, but
Yeah.
not have the green screen itself. And if you don't, then that makes it really less likely to look like a quality background.
Video. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What about what you wear? So I've just always thought myself like solid colors. I've been wearing solid colors for my podcast versus patterned or whatever. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think you're right. Again, you know all this stuff.
I mean,
You
I
don't
really
need me.
don't. I really
You
don't.
don't need me.
It's been new. That's why I wanted to get you on when I first started my podcast versus, you're down the line when I realized
Yeah.
I'm doing it all wrong. So yeah, I'm glad
No,
you came
you're on
early.
track. You're on track. The solid colors matter. They help you. Again, we talk about distraction, and the most important thing when you're doing video is that you want people to pay attention to the content that you're sharing, to the quality of the content and what you're saying, not necessarily all the things around or the distractions of your beautiful patterned blouse, right? So solid colors, finding out what really looks good for you. There are definitely books and other coaches and people out there. Toy Sweeney has an amazing book out there. I can't think of the name of the book, but if you look up TOI Sweeney, SWEENEY, amazing at talking to people about how you present yourself in your best colors. But I'm also a big supporter of brand. So for me, you're typically going to see me in similar colors because I do show up weekly and consistently. If you're a career professional and you're doing interviews and that type of thing, that may not be as much of a deal for you, but you do want to find colors that look nice on you for your skin tone, right? You do want to make sure that you're paying attention to anything that would keep you from, again, that would create a distraction, right? So nothing's so loud that
Absolutely.
all
I was
they
going to
can
say, or
see.
like jingling bracelets and and I've been on some of those where and it is distracting and I'm, trying to look at the bracelets and because that's all I can hear, but
Yeah.
okay, interesting. Let's see. So what is the biggest obstacle that you have found that coaches face when deciding when it comes to using videos in their business or, coaches or job seekers or, candidates, anything like that?
With job seekers, candidates, I'll start there. The biggest obstacle is the confidence, is feeling comfortable, confident enough to get on camera. So my suggestion, my advice would be the more you do it, the easier it becomes. That means even if you are simply pulling up your phone, pressing record, and just recording yourself talking to a potential, pretending that you're talking to a potential employer, right? Get comfortable on camera because the more competent you become, so the more you practice and build up your muscle, the more confident you'll be when it comes time for you to actually go, right? I think that's important as well for coaches too, but we tend to, as coaches, get in the way of our own success because we're overthinking the perfection factor. We think that everything has to be just right or else people won't see me as credible. And the same thing with job
That's true.
seekers too.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
worry so much that we don't do what we need to do.
Hmm.
So practice, practice, practice. Keep getting yourself on camera again, even if it's just in small increments and you're just recording some 60-second thing. And you don't publish it at all if you don't want to do that. But get more practice on video so that you can be ready to go when it's really time and it counts.
I agree with that so much. I mean, I know my podcast producer, Summer, and I spend a lot of time doing, prep work and, you know, to definitely to get me more comfortable with it because I wasn't. But it does help. And like anything, I would think practice makes perfect. And the more you do it, the more you're in front of,
Yeah.
the better at it you'll become and the more comfortable you'll become. It really is a confidence thing. That was one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about too, was that the confidence level, and how to build that. But I would think it is practice.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, this is something for coaches, maybe a little less for job seekers, but what's the key to seeing a return on investment from video marketing? And what are some common mistakes coaches make in this area? So for those listening who are coaches and who are thinking about using this to monetize, what would you recommend?
There really are a couple of different components to think about when you are a coach and you're leveraging video for marketing. One of the things is the consistency piece. So, having a clear schedule, it tends to be a mistake for us to think that we can just jump on camera, go, and then walk away, and then a month later jump back on and just not have anything structured,
Right.
or put into place where people can rely on us to be regular. So I think the consistency piece is number one that we have
Do
to
you think
find a way.
like
Mhm.
once a week or every other week or something like that, just to kind of build it up?
I think here's what I think. I think that there is no prescription, but I think that realistically, you have to look at what your calendar will allow.
True.
I'm big on saying to people, your life is not my life. My life is not your life, right? So if you are someone who can go daily, by all means, go for it. That is not me. That's not my life. Um, I typically try to recommend at least once a week.
Hmm.
And the reason for that is just to keep the algorithm juiced up, like ready for you, especially again, if you're using this for marketing. The consistency thing is important, but it is uniquely versatile to whoever you are and what your life looks like. So if every other week is all you can do, then by all means do that. If once a month is all you can
Right.
do that too,
Yeah.
but maybe batch record some videos and then have that kind of sorted out so that it goes out once a week.
Right.
Um, Consistency is number one. Number two is content strategy. So that speaks to the whole structure thing, like making
Mhm.
sure that you have a plan, a game plan for here's what I talk about. This is my mastery. This is the message that I want people to get anytime I get on camera. This is the particular market or audience that I talk to. Really understanding those pieces of your content strategy is going to help you to be more efficient and to get results if you're using this for, marketing and sales.
Right.
And then the final piece would be, let's see, consistency, content strategy, and then the conversion. Having a way to actually give people calls to action in your videos that are leading to a specific offer of service or product or
Mhm.
program or whatever it is that you're putting out there into the world. Having a plan for how you do that is really going to be useful if you're using it for marketing. For career folks who are looking job seekers,
Yeah.
I think the most important thing again is going back to that whole idea of building up your confidence, but
Hmm.
then also you have a content strategy too because you have
Agreed.
a
Hmm.
yeah, you've got a personal brand that you
Yeah.
need to uphold. You're trying to sell people on the idea that your resume is not all there is to you, that you're a
Right.
three-dimensional person.
Mhm. And I love LinkedIn for that. I just think
Mhm.
it's great for helping job seekers look like a thought leader in their field. You know, the more they engage
Yes.
and add to that, I think that's a great idea. So do you recommend that when that job seekers even post a brief video? Oh, we need to talk about that too, as far as um, time. You know, so would you recommend a minute or 2 minutes, you know, for those brief snippets? And of course, go to
Yeah.
YouTube if you want to watch the full thing, but um, or other places you'll have to tell us about. But what do you recommend as far as length?
I think LinkedIn right now is a great way, especially for all of the different categories of people we're talking about, right? Whether you're a career thought leader or
Right.
you're a coach, whatever. LinkedIn is a good place to begin using video now if you haven't been using it. And the reason for that is because they're starting to finally come into the realization that video is going to keep people on their platform. So they now have a style of video, a feed that has a style of video that's very similar to, like, I'm going to say TikTok, but not really. In a second, I'm going to qualify that. TikTok, Instagram Reels, all the
Yeah.
shorts, YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
So my advice is to do 60-second or less because that's easily transferable to other platforms if you want it to be. But a super short and simple concept driven video, and that speaking about what you know and what you're great at,
Yeah.
does help build your thought leadership.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I have seen job seekers, you know, doing this and even those that are in a job and just kind of talking more to their brand and what they do and you know their expertise. So I think it's important. So what are your secrets or what do you think are the secrets to staying accountable, staying I know you were talking about being consistent and you know really having a calendar. Would you consider like a content calendar as something? Is that, you know, and following that as much as you know, with video as much as you would creating content?
Definitely a content calendar, but in the end, you can have as many calendars as you want. If you're not committed, it won't matter.
Right.
Right? So
Truth.
you
Yeah.
can do, I mean, I've done a ton of workshops and classes and participated in a bunch of different workshops and classes, and I never ever opened the calendar. Right? I do have a calendar for my current business and what I
Yeah.
do, but the goal should be for you to have that commitment that no matter what, I'm going to do this. If I am feeling badly, if I have life going on, because life is going to continue, have a plan B. Like today may not be the day, but tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and put myself on camera,
Mm,
not letting it be something that you've allowed to fall off, by the wayside, like
right.
exercise.
Like exercise.
Because the results are whatever you're committed to putting into it. And I
Yeah.
think that the commitment by telling people that you're going to be on camera, on video, especially when you're doing live, the more you tell people, the more you have to be there. So that helps with accountability too.
Yeah, it sure does. I know, I know. Well, this has been so interesting, and I'm glad that we were able to find time to have you on, that you came to talk with us today. A couple of things. So how can people find you if they want to, you know, ask more about your services and I think that you had something, you have a product, you have this free quiz.
Mhm.
Tell us about that, how, you know, that'll help if somebody comes to your website and what they can gain from that quiz.
Yeah, the number one place these days to reach me. So I have two websites, getnoticedwithvideo.com. That's more of my company website. So when I do speaking and those type of things, streamlikeaboss.tv is
Hmm.
where people who are watching my live streams every week can get information about programs and workshops and interactive things that we do. I think that the quiz is I'm just like really excited about it because I recently released a brand new version of my quiz. And the quiz is intended to help you to really see that you don't have to be someone else on camera. Because when I first started out, I was looking at other people and I thought, okay, now I have to try to be like them. And it
Right.
didn't work.
Hmm. Hmm. I know what you
This
mean.
quiz is about adopting a style based on your personality type. So there's a merging of my expertise in the field of psychology. So Myers-Briggs type indicator, in
Yeah.
addition to my live streaming expertise, molding those together, I came up with 4 different, what we call archetypes.
Okay. I love
So
archetypes. Yeah.
yeah, it's so much fun. So depending
Uh-huh.
on what your answers are to the quiz, you'll get suggestions, recommended tips, and advice on the best way for you to leverage your personality and how you like to express yourself when it comes to doing video.
Love that. So, I mean, I just think that would be so helpful, and it really would help, clarify your brand if you're on the fence of, how you want people to see you. So, and what about you have an Instagram page as well? What is your Instagram page
Yeah.
name? Is it?
All of my
Yeah.
socials are at Video Coach Tanya.
Okay.
So at Video Coach Tanya, Instagram at Video Coach Tanya. The only one that's not is YouTube, because I have my name, Tanya Smith.
There
Stream
you
Like a
go.
Boss TV with Tanya Smith. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for coming on. And lastly, we ask all of our guests this, but what is one thing that no one knows about you, a secret passion or something that you love and that no one else knows?
Oh goodness. Um, I am a huge sci-fi person. So
Ooh,
yeah, I
books
love
like movies or yeah.
books, movies. Yeah. So I read the original Dune, which was really hard to read. It's super
Oh, really?
long and
Yeah.
very complex, but it really gave me joy that they made it something that anyone could enjoy with the latest movie version. The adaptation that they've done for it made it so much easier for people to
Ooh.
understand the concept. So yeah.
I love it when a book, I didn't read that, but my sons saw the movie. And I love it when there's finally a book that's close to the movie or the movie that's close to the book, it just
Yes.
makes it makes it so much better. But
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. So do you go to the what are they called? I'm trying to think of the cons, the
Oh
shows that
yeah,
dress
I
up
don't
as
do the
Star
cons.
Trek. No.
I haven't done those. I mean, they look interesting, but it's not for my age group, I don't think. I don't feel like I would fit in, but I could probably know as much as the people that are attending.
Right, right, for sure. Well, thanks again. It's just been such a joy having you, and I hope to have you again sometime soon. Thanks again for listening to the Office Latte podcast. You can find us anywhere you listen to your podcast. You can follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Executive Resumes, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Office Latte Podcast. If you have any career questions or conversations you want us to talk about, send them to officelattepodcast@gmail.com, and we'll answer them in an upcoming show. Have a great week and stay caffeinated.